The next guy, or two guys, and we talked about it, how we partied all night Thursday, had a 2-hour drive back, then just restart the process again, 3-1-3 party for round 2 and 3, and I was kind of dead, felt like a zombie.
Yeah, I went out.
And then you went out again after.
Saturday night.
And then, I'm mixing up Friday.
Well, I went out Friday too.
Oh, yeah, you won the tournament, didn't you?
Saturday was the tournament. No, I didn't win.
Oh, I saw you take a picture.
The winners. I was taking because I do the bracket and administrate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm zombified. I'm dead, tired. I felt bad because it's my first time meeting Korean Jesus, and I was kind of like, yeah, dude, yeah, it's cool, whatever. The one thing that wake me up, Spinny, without any drugs, any caffeine, outside of the bartender, was when it finally clicked in my head. After the Ennis Rakestraw pick, which I'm not gonna lie, I was like, whoa, wow. But then when it clicked in my head, the fucking evil genius in Brad Holmes and what he did in this defensive back room, that's when I got excited. And Nick was there when I was kind of going off when Flannel Sam and KG were on.
Yeah.
But dude just took so many dogs, and he put them in the same kennel. And it's so fucking brilliant, especially when you have a guy like Terrion Arnold, which I've been on record saying I don't think there's a top 10 cornerback in this class, but there's guys with potential. That's what he is, and you truly want him to develop. Put the young pup, the young ravaging pup, if you will, in the same kennel with a guy like Carlton Davis, who won himself a Super Bowl and got a big contract before getting traded. Now he's pissed off, has something to prove. Amik Robinson, who you paid, who finally thinks he's going to get his big break as a starter, who is watching film at 3 a.m. in the morning. Then you draft two quarterbacks, disrespected. He's hungry. He's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Another dog. You got Emmanuel Mosley, who started NFC Conference Championship games for the 49ers, who tore two ACLs back-to-back. He's hungry. He's got shit to prove. Kendall Vildor with his disrespect. That's the perfect environment for these young pups to grow into what they can be.
Yeah.
They're not going to learn from these guys, but competing against these guys who are constantly bringing it every single day on top of having those attributes in their own damn right. You hear Terrion Arnold speak about him in his entire life. He's had these aspirations and just working hard and knowing what it takes to get there. Same with Ennis Rakestraw. He looked unhappy when he got drafted, but it wasn't because it was to the Detroit Lions. No, it was because he didn't think he was 61st best player in this draft. He was talking about being a first-round pick once upon a time. Yeah. Everybody in that defensive back room has something to prove, and is going to bring out the best of each other when it comes to camp.
Iron sharpens iron, man, and these guys are going to be going at it in camp. You got spots that all of them think they are deserving of, all of them think they can be in, but there's only two of them that can do it. So you're going to put these guys to war against each other in camp, man. I'm excited to see it. And it gives you the flexibility of not only I forget who brought it. I think Neil brought it up or maybe Broder brought it up on Saturday, saying like maybe we see more 5-down lineman sets now with all the versatility you have on the defensive line. You could do that. We could see dime sets, like with the amount of potential starting defensive backs we have. Aaron Glenn has so much versatility on his team, on his defense, to be able to do anything he really wants and to be able to run any set that he wants with the depth at defensive line and the depth in the defensive back room. You can do so many different things, and I'm excited to see these guys go at it. I'm excited to see this training camp and how hard they're going to be playing, because all of them think they deserve that starting spot. When Emmanuel Mosley is healthy, we have 5 starting caliber cornerbacks on this team. So somebody's going to be pissed off because they don't get, that job. But like I said, Brad Holmes is never going to allow a walk-on or an in-season signing to get major snaps in an NFC Championship game again in this team, because he went out there and he got 2 guys that are going to be fighting for that cornerback 2 position year 1. And now we're not over a barrel when it comes to a Carlton Davis contract, because you've got guys that have the potential to be starters in this league.
Yeah, I'm very curious what happens with that one too, because and again, I'm just pointing out. I don't even want to go there actually, but I would hate to have lost or given up a 3rd-round pick for a guy as just a rental, unless we go out there and win the Super Bowl. Obviously, that'd make a lot more sense. But regardless, I guess takes on the players themselves. Rakestraw, extremely quick, extremely sticky. I know people look at the long speed and look at the 40 time and say it's not there, but you got to remember too, he was like battling a groin injury during that combine. I mean, just another example of him being a Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes guy. The fact that he tried to bully himself through that and still pursue to perform at that combine. But you put on the tape, a lot quicker than what that 40 time says. He's really, really sticky, really, really physical, a willing tackler. Someone put out a highlight of there. I think it might have been.
He smacks people more than a willing tackler. Like
yes.
He lays the
Absolutely.
stick on people.
And I don't know who put it out there. Shout out to whoever's Twitter page it is. If you're listening, I hope you shout yourself out. But there's a highlight of him just taking Jaden Daniels and slamming him down
I love
like
that
an
one.
8th grader.
He's an attack dog.
Exactly.
He is that pit bull on the chain ready to go. Like, I love Rakestraw as a prospect. I obviously love Terrion Arnold as a prospect. Lions defensive back room, it's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be guys going out there trying to take the souls of the receivers on the other teams, because they know if you fuck up, you got a dog waiting behind you, and you might not get that spot back if he gets back in the game. So I love it.
His style plays perfect too to what AG likes to do. I guess in true DNA of what he likes to run, that press man coverage. I mean, that's what both these cornerbacks fit. Both Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. I'm speaking more on Rakestraw right now, but yeah, I think he's everything that people were talking about him being drafted at 29 initially.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been taken at 29, and you guys probably saw it so many times in previous mock drafts from what word I'm looking for, analysts or whatever, that you probably wouldn't have batted an eye at it. You'd be like, yeah, I mean, I saw him there a couple times. No, you got him at 61, which is a huge value. And the Terrion Arnold thing too is for him, or actually,
Best cornerback in the
did you want to say something on Rakestraw before I move on? I apologize.
I mean, I just like the physicality and the fact that you're bringing him in. The only thing on Rankenshaw that I would like to see is him come down with a few more of those interceptions when he gets the opportunity. But I think he will in this defense if he does get the playing time to do so. That's just the only thing, is converting those passes defended into interceptions. But I love the player, and the fact that you got him in the second round, that part I really like about it. First round at 29 would have been a little questionable, but falling all the way to 61, that's all right, let's hop on this immediately.
Huge W. Shout out to my guy Sam. He brought up the same point earlier today too. But at the end of the day, as a cornerback, your job is not to allow catches.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not bragging on you, but I don't care to see the interception numbers. I personally don't.
Yeah.
Your job is to stop them from catching the ball. And at some points, if you're doing your job so well, they're not even throwing the ball your way. So you have zero stats, pass deflections or interceptions. So if you have less interceptions, I'm not going to use that to rag on you. Obviously, like Nick said, you'd like to see it, but I don't need it. Yeah. As long as you're doing your job as a man cover.
Saw it a lot out of future CB1.
Yeah.
That we're going to get to.
Python Knight says some people claim these two cornerbacks as zone guys. Those people know absolutely no ball if someone says that.
Especially if it's talking about Arnold. That's crazy.
I think that a very underrated thing, though, also about our secondary, and I referenced this on Friday with you guys, is that our secondary can tackle. And that is a huge difference between a lot of secondaries in the NFL. They struggle to tackle with their corners. But with our corners, that is a strength. All our corners are elite tacklers, and I think that plays a very, very big factor with high-level yak guys like Keenan Allen in our league.
Especially now that you can't tackle them from behind. You got to tackle them when they're in front of you. Guys that could step up and make that hit now is extremely important. And we saw Rakestraw and Terrion Arnold do that a lot in their collegiate careers. And the Runyon 99 says, Spencer, notice that all of these picks on both sides have a nasty streak in them. And that's part of the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes guy, is to be nasty, aggressive. One of Aaron Glenn's first quotes in a press conference that he had when he was hired, he said, I want to bring violence back to football.
Yep.
I want to bring the violence back to this defense.
Make football violent again.
And, dude, you got guys to do it. Like I said, Rakestraw is not just a good tackler. He fucks people up. He puts you in the dirt. Chris, I saw you raise your head. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm really glad that they added two cornerbacks to the room, because I talked about it on the show before that there's a need to build this room for the long run, and that's what this did. This draft allowed them to build their cornerback room for multiple years, not just this season. It doesn't tie you to the players that you traded for and acquired. And there's this tweet, Easy, that I wanted to get up earlier when you were mentioning it and you guys were speaking on the competition. I mean, one person that's in there that loves it is Meek. He said that himself. He said, he a gangster for real. That's how you want it. I fuck with it. I wouldn't have it no other way. When Brad Holmes said they got to compete and win spots. So this is exactly what you want. But I'm glad now that you have, like you said, you wouldn't want to waste that third round capital that you used to acquire Carlton Davis, but you also don't want to have to re-sign a guy that you really aren't completely satisfied with. Not saying that's the case, but saying if you don't have the cornerback depth, then you might have been forced to sign somebody a long time ago. How you felt about Goff?
Talk about the physicality real quick. Brad Holmes, I'm pretty sure he called the Christian Christian Mahogany a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Got that New Jersey dirtbag attitude or something.
Hell
like
yeah,
that.
dude. That's what you want. Like, offensive, I've said it multiple times. Offensive line and defensive line, you can't be nice. You can't be nice and play those positions. You just can't. Your job is to hit the other person no matter what. And seeing guys like this in the secondary, too, with the Brad Holmes quote where he says they got to earn the spot, and Amik Robertson loves it. Real recognize real.
Yeah.
And we know Brad Holmes is real, and we don't know Amik Robertson too much, but he seems like he's pretty damn real. Yeah. So he knows. That's how he's been his whole career. That's how he's been thought of and on the bench for half of his career. And when he has his opportunity, he takes it, and he tries with it. Like, I expect him to do the same thing in Detroit. I love it, man. Amik Robertson's a dog. Rakeshaw, Terry and Arnold, both dogs. Like you said, that was a bar by you. You got all these dogs, you put them in the same kennel. Like, that secondary room is going to go to war this offseason.
Bars.
Great bar by you, talking about the new rule change.
Yeah.
You can't tell guys from the back. Look at that secondary, the all willing and physical tacklers from Kirby Joseph to the point where pussy-ass Viking fans are calling him dirty. You got Brian Branch, who me and you watched him put on a clinic against the Falcons.
Decapitated Bijan Robinson.
Rakestraw, awesome. Arnold, Amik. Again, in a league where you're not allowed to tackle from behind anymore, to have those guys as a secondary piece of defense moving forward on these guys, that's huge. I didn't even think of that. That was a brilliant point by you, Spinny.